Here's the exact moment most first-time screen repairs go bad. It's not the glue, not the tools, it's where you put that first pry point. Don't start at the top edge. That's where the display flex cables hide, tucked under the frame, and one wrong pry there cuts them instantly. Start at the bottom or side edge instead. Before you pry, hit the edges with heat. It softens the adhesive so the screen lifts with patience instead of force. Force is how flex cables get torn even from the safe side. One more thing beginners skip. Test the new screen before you seal it up. Power it on, check touch and image before you clip anything down. Want the tools and order laid out for you? Comment guide and I'll send the free screen swap prep checklist. Tools plus the full step-by-step order. Grab it before your next swap. It'll save you a screen. Let's actually walk through this one because it's the exact moment most first-time screen repairs get destroyed, and I want you to see why, not just hear it. A phone comes in for a routine screen swap. Cracked glass, digitizer still technically working, straightforward job on paper. The tech opens up the pry tool, and this is the moment. Where does that first pry point go? This is the fork in the road for almost every beginner. The instinct is to start at the top, near the earpiece, because that's where the crack's worst and it feels like the natural way in. That instinct is exactly wrong, and it's worth understanding why before you ever pick up a tool. The top edge of almost every phone is where the display flex cables live, tucked right under the frame, out of sight until the screen's already off. You can't see them from outside. You don't know they're there until you've gone in blind. So the first thing worth checking before any prying starts is where those cables actually sit on the model you're working on. Because pry there first and you're not lifting a screen, you're cutting the exact cables that make the new one work. That's the common mistake, and it's not a footnote at the end of the job. It's the wrong turn available on your very first move. When this bench, the correct starting point was the bottom edge instead. Not because the bottom's magic, but because it's away from the flex cables, which gives you room for error while you're still building a feel for how much resistance is normal. That's the logical starting point, the safest zone on the board, not the most obvious crack. Here's where heat comes in, and here's the part most people get wrong and why. The adhesive holding that screen down is strong, and the instinct once you're in is to just push harder when it doesn't lift. Force is the beginner's answer to every stuck screen. But force doesn't care where the flex cables are. It transmits straight through the frame and can tear cables even from a safe starting edge if you're muscling it instead of working with the material. Heat softens that adhesive so the screen separates with patience, not pressure. On the bench footage, the difference is obvious. With heat, the pry tool slides in with almost no resistance. Without it, you're forcing metal against glued glass, and that force has to go somewhere. Once the bottom's open and the screen starts lifting, the real danger zone is still ahead, that top edge where the cables live. This is where the pace has to change completely. Fast, confident prying was fine on the bottom. Near the top, the tool goes flat, the movement slows way down, and the whole opening is done by feel, checking resistance before advancing further. That's really what this whole thing comes down to. Not whether you can open the phone, but whether you know exactly where to slow down before you get there. So the exact moment isn't one single instant, it's the top edge approach the second you're near those cables, and everything before that is either setting you up to survive it or setting you up to fail it. With the screen off, the flex cables are now visible, sitting right where they'd have been sliced if the job had started there. That's the payoff of going bottom first. Those cables are still intact because they were never touched under force or blind pressure. Now the new screen goes in, but not sealed yet. This is the part beginners consistently skip. Test before final reassembly. Connect the flex cables, power the phone on, check touch response across the whole panel, check the display for dead spots or discoloration before a single clip or adhesive strip goes down for good. If there's a fault, a bad cable seat, a dead pixel, a touch issue, this is the only point where it's cheap and easy to fix. Seal it up first and find the problem after, and you're reopening a freshly glued phone right back into pry territory again. That's the whole arc. Start where the cables aren't. Let heat do the separating work instead of force. Slow down and go flat exactly where the frame hides those cables, and confirm everything works before you close it up for good. Every one of those checks exists because of that one failure point at the top edge, the moment that ends most first attempts before they even get going.